Today, we're delving into a fascinating topic abilities that might appear alike, but are actually quite different in the world of Pokemon. With the sheer amount of abilities that Game Freak has created, there are bound to be some that sound similar to others. However, we'll talk about the small differences that differentiate abilities. Let's dive in. First up, we have two abilities Multiscale and Shadow Shield. While these abilities seem similar, namely they halve damage taken by the user when at full HP, all three of them are slightly different. Looking at them, the difference between them is subtle but enough to make a difference comparatively. Multiscale is ignored by Mold Breaker, Terravolt, and Turbo Blaze, an ability negating moves such as ironically Moonlight Beam, whereas Shadow Shield cannot be ignored by such. This is a notable difference because, for example, in Sword and Shield Lubers, Lunala is able to wall Zekrom without Scale Shot because it can live any hit and burn it with Will-O-Wisp, whereas Lugia can't live a hit regardless. The same difference also exists between Full Metal Body and Clear Body. Soul Heart and Grimney seem like the same ability, giving the user a +1 when the opponent faints. However, they are very different, and it's most prominent in doubles, though it affects singles as well. Grimney requires the user to KO the opponent. If the opponent faints due to stealth rocks or sand damage or your partner's attack in doubles, it doesn't activate. Soul Heart on the other hand activates whether a Pokemon faints, regardless of how they fainted. This was what made Magearnas horrible to face against, because you truly could not sacrifice any Pokemon against it, lest it get a +1 special attack. Similarly, Final Gambit strategies can be used in doubles to give Magearna a free +2 because both your ally and the opponent faint. You might think as one from either Calyrex forms is the same as Unnerve plus its respective ability, Chilling Knee or Grimney, but they are not, as one literally is more than the sum of its constituents. The difference is that when neutralizing gas is active, as one also remains active, while both Unnerve and either Naze don't activate when neutralizing gas is active. This can be helpful because in VGC Regulation G, if you wanted to use, say, Regigigas plus Weezing, you can lock in either Calyrex form because you know Weezing won't suppress their abilities. Arena Trap and Shadow Tag are two distinct Pokemon abilities that affect the opponent's ability to switch out during battle. Arena Trap prevents grounded Pokemon, those that are not flying type or have the Levitate ability, from switching out or fleeing. This also includes Air Balloon or Telekinesis. In contrast, Shadow Tag traps all adjacent Pokemon regardless of their typing or abilities, preventing them from switching or escaping unless they use a move like U-Turn or Baton Pass. It is important to note that both these abilities do not affect Ghost-type Pokemon. This makes Shadow Tag more universally restrictive, whereas Arena Trap has limitations based on the target's characteristics. Finally, we have reached the absolute pinnacle of niche differences. Neither of these two abilities are too good. The difference between them is microscopic. I'm just fascinated by it. The abilities we speak of here are Insomnia and Vital Spirit. Inherently, there's no difference between the abilities. They do the exact same thing, which is prevent the user from falling asleep. But the difference comes thanks to a move, Worry Seed. So here's the difference. When you try to use Worry Seed on a Pokemon with Insomnia, the move fails. This boosts the power of Stomping Tantrum and Temper Flare to 150 base power. That's the only difference. It makes little impact in singles and doubles, but if you really want to run one of these abilities, rest assured one is completely superior over the other.